Minister of Defense of Ukraine Oleksiy Reznikov stated at the beginning of March that the Ukrainian army needs 1,155mm shells. At that time, some European media were skeptical about this figure.
It would be nice to have 90 or thousands or 100,000 per month to be ready to deter enemies and be ready to go with the counter-offensive campaign.
But the head of European diplomacy, Josep Borrell, is determined.
I hope that the ministers will, all of them, engage in a final discussion and agree on a very important decision for this afternoon. Otherwise, we will be in difficulties in order to continue supplying arms to Ukraine.
Ukraine's allies refute the cliché of Russian propaganda that such arms deliveries could lead to escalation.
And definitely, I don't think that this can lead to another kind of escalation. If you see at the level of brutality, rocket attacks which Russia perpetrates against the energy infrastructure, complete city razed, destroys, childs kidnapped and forcibly being Russified, how more can this escalate?
The fact that any statement by the Russian leadership does not correspond to reality is also evidenced by its real reaction to NATO expansion. Finland is about to become a member of the North Atlantic Alliance. It has a huge border with Russia, but Finland's foreign minister does not see any movement of Russian troops near its border.
Haven't seen, of course, we have seen their statements against Finnish and Swedish NATO membership, but we haven't seen any new military gathering on our border.
Under the pretext of fighting NATO expansion, Russia attacked Ukraine, but when, because of its actions, the alliance really began to expand, it did nothing. The talks were held against the backdrop of a joint protest of Ukrainians and Iranians.
Russia is a terrorist state. We want Iran to stop the supply of weapons. We have united together.
Or what we all want is that IRGC, Iranian Revolution Guards, comes in terrorists, because they are terrorists. They are killing our people in Iran. They are killing people in Ukraine. They are killing people in Iraq, in Syria, and they are terrorists. Iranian people are solidar. They want to show their solidarity with Ukrainian people, because we know Putin and Khamenei, they are both dictators. They are supporting each other.
After the foreign ministers, the defense ministers discuss the supply of weapons, and they quickly come to a consensus. If Ukraine says that it needs 1 million shells, then it will definitely get them.
It seems that it is a good day today, that we have reached a political consensus to send to Ukraine 1 million rounds of 155 caliber ammunition. Definitely there are many details still to solve, but for me it is most important that we will conclude these negotiations, and it shows me one thing: if there is a will, there is a way.
While the ministers are discussing the issue of assistance to Ukraine, we have gathered here in the building of the European Parliament in order to understand how the defense industry of the European Union can be restored.
We have reduced so much in the last 30 years, so the industry has shrunk and the people are simply not there, and now they need to really get the workforce, and that takes time, but we need definitely to for the immediate deliveries to Ukraine, there are ways and means to deliver better.
The Subcommittee on Security and Defense is discussing a law on joint procurement designed to strengthen cooperation within the European Union. Prior to the Russian invasion of Ukraine, European countries preferred to purchase weapons and military ammunition at the national level. Deputy Michael Galler believes that over time Ukraine can take an important place in the European military cooperation, not only as a consumer but also as a manufacturer.
I would say yes, definitely, and we have heard already companies saying that after the war they will start producing in Ukraine. I think it makes perfectly sense to have such experienced nation, involuntarily experienced of this dreadful war, to have you with your experience and your expertise.
The results of the day were summed up by the head of European diplomacy, Josep Borrell. 18 countries will participate in the project of the European Defence Agency for the joint purchase of ammunition. 1 billion euros will be spent on immediate deliveries of shells to Ukraine within 1 year. Another 1 billion will be allocated for joint purchases.
The answer of the Council was clear. Ukraine can continue counting on the European Union.
The European Union immediately responded to Ukraine's request and fully satisfied it. Reported by Kallas, Vitaly Sizov, UATV News.